too old or Miami Aquarium before? Okay, so does anybody want to volunteer what your favorite show or exhibit was? Shampoo was. Okay, does anybody else have anything? Stephanie, did you?
Were they like otters or
Sea otters?
Yes.
Okay. Well, personally, my favorite was Shampoo as well. I love whales. Like, that's my favorite animal ever. And growing up, I wanted to be a whale trainer. And now that I'm older, I've realized that the whales that are actually in Miami Aquarium and SeaWorld that are in captivity are actually suffering a lot more than I thought. So what we have to deal with, our Earth covers 141,600,000 square miles of our surface. That's nearly 72%. When you look at the show tanks that whales are shown in, it's about 30 to 40 feet wide. 30 to 40 feet deep and 150 feet to 250 feet long. In comparison to us, that's about 2 of these classrooms if we're a person, and we're technically living in that our whole lives. And we're trapped. Like, I'm pretty sure we would all go crazy. Like, that's not something you would want to be in. So, to show that the average life expectancy of a whale is usually 30 to 50 years in the wild, and while it's in captivity, they nearly died about 13 years, and that's a drastic change for how, that's a drastic change to how they are in the wild. There was a case study that showed that the annual mortality rate for whales in captivity was 6.2%, while the annual mortality rate for whales in the wild was 2.4%, and that's nearly 2.5 times larger than the whales that suffered in captivity. So, what I really wanted to show you, there's a whole bunch of misconceptions about whales, and a lot of these come from the SeaWorld trainers themselves, and it would be like cleft dorsal fins, that's something that's common. Cleft dorsal fins isn't common in whales. Life expectancy from 20 to 30 years, that's not common in whales either. It's 30 to 50 years. So on my next slide, I have a video that I wanted to show you all that kind of just shows some of these trainers voicing the false statements.
25% of whales have a fin that turns over like that as they get older.
Dorsal collapse happens in less than 1% of wild killer whales. We know this. All of the captive males, 100% have collapsed dorsal fins.
And they say that they're a family.
So that to me, I think it's feeding us a false image for what whales are seen as, because we're thinking they're living longer in these types of environments. They're healthier in these types of environments, and it's just an overall better environment for them because they're in captivity. They have better treatment, they have better health care. But at the end of the day, they're actually suffering more. And not only are they suffering, but sometimes humans suffer as well. And that has caused us to see a lot more deaths and just aggressive attacks in general. There's been over 100 attacks in captivity from whales, and only one aggressive attack has ever been reported in the wild. 4 deaths have been reported in captivity and none have been reported in the wild. And that's just drastic because obviously they're suffering. Something is going on in their minds psychologically. Like, they don't have enough space. They're faced to be in environments with animals they don't get along with. Some of them are forced to be with other whales that they just don't have a connection with. If they were in the wild, they'd have their family, they'd be okay, and they wouldn't be forced to take it out on humans during their shows. And so the next video might be a little bit graphic. I'm not really sure. This is just to show what actually happened in 2007, I believe.
And brings him to the surface where the trainer pets the whale, tries to calm it, only to be yanked down again.
It's a horrifying event.
This actually, this put America to a scare. Like, it scares a lot of people to see something like that happen and be in the environment where you actually see a person dragged down deep to, they can't escape from the jaws of a whale. This is nearly a 6-ton animal, like, you can't escape from that. And so this situation, I guess, kind of brought up some arousal and controversy within whale captivity. And now, it's just, I want you guys to kind of just think about it, and do you think it's okay to keep supporting these businesses that capture these animals, bringing them into a concrete, coordinated box, minimizing them to almost as like a circus clown? Because we have to be the voices for them, we have to advocate for them because they can't advocate for themselves. And even while they are trying to advocate for themselves, they're showing us through their health and by reacting in their shows, it's not enough.